In our first story, the National Disaster Management Organization says 17 persons have been confirmed dead at Achim Batebi in the Asene Manso across the districts of the eastern region. The bodies were retrieved from the collapse of a 6-story building belonging to the Church of Prosperity at Achim Batebi. The bodies of the deceased have since been deposited at the Achim Oda Government Hospital morgue pending autopsy. 6 of the 8 injured persons were treated and discharged, and the other 2 are still on admission. The military, together with NADMO officials, have this afternoon been briefing the media on the rescue efforts.
Now, what we want to add is that our biggest challenge here has been the lack of information. Because we don't have information as regards the numbers of people who were in the building at the time of the collapse, it's made our work very, very difficult. So I'll take this opportunity to appeal to people who have relatives who are supposed to have attended service in the last 3 days and have not reported back to come to this area. We have set up a desk, information desk, to receive such information to aid us in our search and rescue operations. Because we need to know the numbers we are looking for. And then we're also in touch with the church leadership to show us the areas, because they are unable to give us the plan of the structure. So we are in touch with them to show us the areas where we are likely to find people. So like I've said already, the search and rescue operations will continue until the last person is saved or the last body is recovered.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Peter Amwa, the commanding officer, Jungle Warfare School. Here I am in charge of security. This incident happened on the 20th around 1400 hours. And since then I have deployed enough men to cordon off the area and also maintain order for other parties, i.e. the engineers and others, to work and work very well. We also continue to deploy troops overnight whilst everybody has stopped working and gone home. As I speak, yesterday the CDS and Army Commander and the staff were here to give us very precise or concise direction on how to go about this our work here. So far, we are on course and we hope to continue to deploy troops to maintain the security and order here till the end of the operation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Colonel Michael, commanding officer of the 48th Ghana Regiment. I arrived here with my team at approximately 02:30 hours on Tuesday, 21st October 2020. Our strength is 2 officers and then 7 soldiers. We've been here for almost 48 hours now, and over the period I've tried to clear the rubble to enable the evacuation of the trapped civilians. The work seems to have slowed because we cannot verify or ascertain the exact number of people trapped in there. So we have to painstakingly clear the rubble to be able to retrieve those trapped in. It is hoped that by close of day we'll be able to tell you what we've been able to discover as yet. We pray for your continuous cooperation. It's been fine, it's been okay, but we ask that you report on what we tell you as much as possible and not what you think it is the case. You've been very supportive and cooperative, and we pray that you continue the same way. We are ready to take any questions if you have them afterwards. Thank you very much.
And Joy News will continue to update you on this situation. Elsewhere, Deputy Ashanti Regional Police Commander says it is untrue that there is growing insecurity in the region. DCOP David Ajim has been responding to a number of concerns from residents following recent robbery attacks in Kumasi. Residents of Ahojo are yet to come to terms with the killing of 3 people in 1 week by gunmen. 2 armed men on a motorbike on Wednesday afternoon robbed a young man of his money, sending traders running for their lives. The broad day attack on the young man happened in front of our news team at the same spot where a Chinese national was shot on Tuesday by suspected armed robbers. Erastus Asari-Danko has more in the following report.
These residents tell me a man was shot on this side of Ahojo last week by suspected armed robbers. I heard what sounded like a tire burst. When I raised my head, I saw one of them shoot the man and grabbed his bag. I left my kiosk and ran. I saw one holding the gun and the other was on a motorbike. Now I get suspicious when I see anyone on a bike.
Very bad.
Few meters from here, a Chinese national was also shot by 4 armed men in the early hours of Tuesday. I'm told that they parked a vehicle to this side of the road and he crossed to this side to buy the credit. And apparently 4 men came around, snatched the bag he was holding, and when he turned around, they gunned him down right here where I'm standing. So I'm told that they've put sand on the blood, but this is the exact spot where he lay. This gentleman witnessed everything. I would like him to tell me what happened that day. They parked their vehicle over there. One crossed the street and requested to buy 100 Ghana cedi credit. I bent over to get the credit for him, but as I raised my head, I saw one guy snatch his bag, and as he turned, he shot him in the chest. His colleagues turned the vehicle around and picked him up. Whilst reporting on the shooting of the Chinese national, 2 men on motorbike attacked this young man around midday here at Ahojo. I observed the motor cross the street, then they snatched his bag.
There were 2 in the bike, they just picked it and they took that way. It's about, I think, 4,008. Something like that sort has not happened to me before, so I'm kind of confused and depressed, but we give thanks to God that no casualty was reported.
A team of armed police personnel arrived at the scene 5 minutes after the attackers had left. Some residents of Ahojo spoke to Love News. It's not safe here anymore. A man was shot in front of my other shop. Now I'm scared. We hear of these cases, but experiencing it live right here at Ahojo makes it scary for us. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asari-Danko, Kumasi.
Meanwhile, the Regional Police Command says residents must volunteer information on robberies to assist with investigations. The Deputy Regional Police Commander says they will be reviewing the patrol protocols to stem the threats. He spoke this morning on the AM show.
But we do not come and report them. I mean, the police will not know what is happening in every home. And so we are entreating each one of us to be a good citizen and start reporting these matters. If you see somebody who has a gun and the person is not supposed to have it, let us know, let us effect an arrest, let us investigate these persons. If we are able to do these, then we'll reduce the number of arms in the system. Of course, we know the number of registered weapons, but most of these ones that are being used for these robbery activities are not licensed. And so we are taking the opportunity to advise every citizen that it is their responsibility to report these, and we are those are open to accept the
Okay. So just finally on
somebody
this.
was talking about
Your
cameras on the
statistics,
streets. Well,
yes, your statistics look good, but the people don't feel safe.
Yes. I think that the reason why people don't feel safe is that it's also because now information travels faster than it used to. And so when things don't even happen, you hear people talking about things that have happened. I mean, and so that is probably what is creating the insecurity. But I want to assure every person who lives in Kumasi that the police is up and doing, and we are there to protect everybody. What we must understand is all law enforcement is a shared responsibility. The public have hired our services to provide a service. And so they should also help us do the job they have given us by giving us as much information as they can and have about these miscreants. And we assure them that we will do what is in our powers to get these people arrested and prosecuted. But you see, the other point I need to...
And that's the Deputy Ashanti Regional Police Commander speaking to me earlier today. Still on security, the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons is calling for increased security alertness ahead of the 2020 polls. This follows a statement by the police service, which identified some 4,098 areas across the country as hotspots prone to violence in the 2020 polls. My colleague Manuel Kranting is at the news conference and joins me live for more. Manuel, what is the small arms doing about these arms in circulation?
Well, Mama, the very first of the efforts that they are putting in place, aside the confiscation of the small arms that are in circulation without a certification, is to what they're doing today, the launching of the campaign they call Ballots Without Bullets, which is essentially to educate the public, against the use of small arms as we approach the December polls. Essentially, their claim and their call is a single strong call, which is for people to volunteer information to the police and other security agencies when they get wind of politicians and other people who intend to use small arms in their dealings, especially in the elections. And so the point is made quite categorically that in December election, the 2020 December elections, it should be conducted, without bullets. Mama.
So who is attending this forum today?
Well, Omavi, we have representation from across the sub-region, apart from the Executive Secretary of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Mr. Jones Apple, who is, opening this ceremony. We've gotten a statement from the Deputy Resident Representative of the UNDP, Her Excellency Ms. Silke Hollander. We've also gotten a statement from the Resident Coordinator of the United Nations, Mr. Charles Abani, and Dr. Eric Bosman-Asai, who is Deputy Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, has also been speaking here, and he's been assuring of the commitment of the Electoral Commission to delivering a peaceful election this December. He makes a point that they are collaborating with the various security agencies to make sure that all the polling stations are safe and secure for electorates to go there and cast their ballot. The highlight of the event, however, is a statement from the Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General to West Africa and the Sahel, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers, who's been making the frantic call for Ghanaians and by extension, all the people who are going to vote in the December election to cherish the peace that we have. In that you'd know and recall that in Guinea, after an election that they held on Sunday, quite a number of people are already reported dead. And he's been just touching down from Guinea and sharing his experiences from there and assuring that the only way to keep people safe and secure is for people to go to the polls, cast their ballot, and go back home.
And that's my colleague Manuel Kranting reporting live from the Alisa Hotel on the National Commission on Small Arms call for increased security alertness ahead of the 2020 polls. This is your election headquarters. Now, electorates in Zebula have been opening up to Joy News on issues that will influence their votes on December 7. They spoke to Deputy Head of our political desk, Winston Amwa, on roads, jobs and youth empowerment as they look forward to engaging their parliamentary candidates at the Joy Ballot Box program at Boko tomorrow, October 23rd.
Is day 2 of voting, and voting is underway here at Zebula, one of the 3 constituencies where tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. we'll be bringing you ballot box. And as you can see right behind me, some of the electors are casting their votes. They're telling us issues that will be influencing the choices they make on December 7, 2020, and also some of the expectations they have concerning even the debate tomorrow. And we are privileged to have one of those persons who has cast his vote. Join us, please come closer. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. What's your name?
Good morning. I'm called Mr. Kanaba from the Zebula constituency.
Mr. Kanaba, tell me, what are some of the issues that will be influencing the choices you make on December 7?
The influences that will influence me to make a choice of the candidates for Boku SCA to come on their promises that they are actually going to assure us that when they come, they are going to do this or that, especially concerning infrastructure and development for the district, and then job for the youth that can able to enable them to be able to be stable and then stay away from maybe crimes such as robbery and the rest. I think they are the issues that when they are actually to assure us, that will influence me to be able to vote for any of the candidates in Boku SCA.
Talking about infrastructure, what kind of infrastructure are we talking about?
Wow, actually, if I look at Boku SCA, roads infrastructure is very, very poor to the grassroots. Actually, where I'm a teacher, teaches at Agatusi Primary School, the culverts has collapsed since 2016. 2018, I was posted there. I've made an appeal to the district executive currently and the MP, and they told me that engineer was there to actually ensure the work commence soon, which I still passes there. It is still not, there is no any constructor on site, so it's worrisome. So this way, it makes me unconvinced how to actually cast my vote. But as I now, I haven't had anybody, I am saying that this is the right person who actually I'll be voting for. But if actually they come to influence me truly that they are going to actually come on to develop the roads, that will help us to be able to move to the rural areas to deliver lessons to our children, that will impact knowledge, and they also become like them one day. Actually, I think they will influence me to actually cast my vote for any of them.
Well, thank you very much. So he's undecided. But just before you go, so I'm sure tomorrow you will be there. What are your expectations? What would you want to hear from your parliamentary candidates? Honorable Cletus Avoka will be there. Frank Adongo would also be there.
What I'll be expecting from them is when they come into power, what they are actually going to do to empower the youth to be able to gain fully employed, so that at least the robbery can be able to cease, breaking into people's houses that cannot even to let people to have peace in mind to sleep in the night. And then actually, our hospital road is, since I started voting 92, it has not even been able to gravel. But it's just recently that the current MP has made them to gravel, and they say it's under contract. We are expecting its completion. And then the mortuary that was promised, we expect that they should be able to fulfill their promises. And if these things are able to do, that will be able to influence, be able to deliver my vote to any of them.
Well, thank you very much. So there you heard from him talking about issues that will be influencing the choices that he will be making. He's talked about infrastructure, particularly their road infrastructure. He also wants to hear from the parliamentary candidates on how they intend to create jobs for the people. Let me just go to some more of the voters and find out from them issues that will be influencing the choices that they may come December 7. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. And what's your name?
Thank you. I'm Bismarck Bugbila Isifu.
So, Bismarck, tell us, what are some of the issues that would influence the choices you make on December 7?
Okay, thank you. A lot of factors will influence my choice that I will make come December 7th. I'm a native of Tetako, a suburb of the Zebele constituency. And God willing, this is going to be my third time I'm going to cast my vote. And then I will look at issues that affect three things. That is regard to the national level, my constituency-wise, as well as my community. All right, so starting from my community level, I will look at the efforts made to continue the abandoned project, like a 6-unit classroom block that has been abandoned for a number of years now. I will make a choice based on what are the efforts made to complete this project. And then also I will look at the road network in my community, the state of it, how, then I will make my choice based on that. Apart from that, I will also look at the lives of the people around me, whether it has changed or whether it hasn't changed. For example, whether a student is able to go to school, be it the secondary school and be it the tertiary, and whether the student coming out, how has their businesses moved on and how have their businesses collapsed. I also look at the government, what they have done in the constituency together with my MP. We look at what they have been able to do, apart from the projects coming from the national, what my MP has been able to do and what the government too has been able to do to this place. What change have we seen in the constituency here? And national-wide, I will look at the policies the current government has brought on board, how it's transformed the life of the people nationwide, and as compared to the previous government. I think these are the issues I'll be looking at too. And I know that there are, we've had a lot of deals that have gone wrong, and then we expect to see the government do something about them, at least these people, and then we've seen some people committing crime and going free. We want to see what has been done about them.
So let's get to the program itself tomorrow. You've talked about you going to be influenced by your community, constituency, and national issues. How about your expectation on the day? So we're expecting the two parliamentary candidates from your constituency. That's Cletus Avoka and Frank Adongo. What are your expectations? Okay, actually there are 4 parliamentary aspirants in my constituency. There are 4 of them. And all of them, we expect to hear something from them. All right. The 2 of them you've just mentioned, they have tested the power today. We know their competencies, we know their capabilities. And so tomorrow gives us an opportunity for them to tell us what they have done and what they want to do given the nod. And then tomorrow I really expect a tough debate, because look, this constituency, we are challenged, we are entangled in a web where we have to make a hard decision this time around. We have someone who has been there for a number of years, and we want to see how that person can come to quantify the number of years you have been in office, and then you still want to go. And we also have someone who has gone for 4 years, and then we, in one way or the other, feel that he is not living up to expectation. But we want to see tomorrow, give an opportunity for each of them to tell us what they have done and then what they will do. Someone will be talking about giving me another 4 years to add to my second term. Someone will be talking about giving me 4 years to add to make my 5th term. So if they're able to compare, okay, if they're able to compare what they did in their first terms, because I'll be looking at that first. I won't be looking at the fact that what has happened. But when you took for your first term, what you did and what this current MP has taken in his 4th years, what he has done.
The Joy Ballot Box will be on air live on radio, television, and online. Do make a date. Let's stay with election-related stories. And former CPP Member of Parliament Samia Yaban Nkrumah says she has not abandoned the ideals of her father, Kwame Nkrumah, despite ditching his party. She's contesting the Jomoro seat, which she won on the ticket of the party in 2008, but lost in 2012 as an independent candidate. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, led the country with the CPP as his party, but it has since struggled to win power. Ms. Nkrumah says she remains committed to the ideals of Kwame Nkrumah. She and 2 other candidates, NPP MP Paul Essien and NDC candidate Dorcas Afo Tofe, have been speaking ahead of Joy FM's Battleground today.
I have not abandoned our father's vision. I'm an Nkrumahist by birth, by blood, and by conviction. In fact, the reason I'm still doing this politics is to honor our father's great legacy by making a contribution in practice, in demonstration, so that people, especially young people, will understand what this legacy was all about. And it was about serving the people, using whatever you have, whatever assets, powers you have, to improve the lives of our people.
Samia in 2008 came at a point where everybody had the thought of the father in mind. So she got the glory and she got the applause from the people. In her second term, we realized that she was somebody who could not go directly to the people. She always have to send people to go there, go and do this. But if you really want to talk about Jomoro, you must understand what Jomoro stands for, and you must know what they do. If you talk about me, for instance, I was born and bred here. I was schooled here and worked here. I've worked at the GHS for good 7 years. Worked at the secondary school as a teacher. Worked at the secondary school for good 8 years also as a teacher. There is no problem in Jomoro that I Asian do not know.
I'm not in parliament yet, and the things that I've done with my own money clearly shows that when that mandate is given me, a lot will be done for them. I am one of them. I grew up here. I schooled here. I identify with them. I understand the culture, the differences and everything. And so that's a plus. They don't have to come to me through somebody else who is going to interpret whatever that will be communicated to me, but they can come directly because I can speak the same dialect as they are. And that is the reason why I think they see me as one of them, and I'll be able to help.
Away from the elections, one person, a motor rider, is feared dead after an accident involving 3 vehicles and a motorbike at Anya Market, a suburb of Accra. The incident, which occurred earlier today, caused major gridlock in the area, and eyewitnesses claim the accident was as a result of brake failure of one of the vehicles, a Rhino cargo truck with registration number GX90315. Here's an eyewitness speaking to Joy News.
Yeah, we just came and asked one of the police officers, and he told me that this very car was filled a brake. So when it is coming, there's traffic on it. So there's that other cars, there's no other way they can go. And this car come and hit them and even kill one of the motor rider. So that motor rider, he died at once. And what I'm trying to say is, they said this car fell a brake from a long distance, but I don't know why he don't blow horn or he don't make noise for people to know that there's something is coming. And he come and kill people at this time. It's very sad. So always we advise the drivers when they are on the road, they should take very good care, and even the maintenance of their car, the maintenance, because maybe when you fail a brake, it will start give you a sign before. So appeal to the drivers, they should always maintain their vehicles before they bring their vehicle to the road, so that our campaign Arrive Alive will sustain them, and we all be accident-free end of the year, and at the same time election year.
And you're watching Joy News today. Still to come, MTN Ghana has signed an MOU with Ghana National Folklore Board to facilitate the distribution of intellectual content. That's in business. Up next. Welcome to Business on Joy News today. Now, MTN Ghana has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ghana National Folklore Board to facilitate the distribution of intellectual content work. The MOU is to get heritage culture into the digital distribution for the youth and the global society. Head of sales at MTN Ghana, Eric Nsako, said this opportunity is a great milestone for the development of the country.
So the partnership with the Folklore Board is, as Nanajwa has explained to you, because they are the gatekeeper for all the heritage content in Ghana, whether it's stories, music, scientific works, like she explained, by the law. So what it means is that since we are a digital partner, a digital technology player, if we want to distribute or we want to support the distribution of our intellectual content work, this is one of the partnerships that has to be in place, because we approach our business as a community partnership, basically. So if the youth want to see heritage content and we provide telecommunication networks that connect them to the internet, then we have to help them to get the tools that access the kind of content that they want to see. Today, if they want to see content on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram, they don't have that problem. There's a vehicle that can connect them. But if you want to see the Larabanga Mosque today, the best you can do is to look at a Google image of it. And how are you going to connect that with the full heritage story around it versus the fact that it is linked to our history and our other heritage sites? So you need an app that is purpose-built for that reason. And it is that we are facilitating with the framework. But the legal work is what we've done today, because you can't also just take content and start distributing it. There are consequences for that. So that's what we've taken care of with the MOU.
Meanwhile, the acting director of Ghana Folklore Board, Nanajwa Asante, says the signing of the MOU is the beginning of a great relationship between MTN Ghana and the Ghana Folklore Board.
This MOU is the beginning of a great relationship between MTN and the National Folklore Board. The National Folklore Board is a government institution that has been mandated to promote and protect our cultural heritage. One of our key agenda, or one of the key highlights or key things that we needed to do, was to ensure that we have an inventory of our folklore. And what better way than to have an inventory which is digitally accessible to all. So a partnership with MTN is a step in the right direction, and it will help us as a government institution to fulfill our mandate and our targets that has been set for us by the government. Well, we are always open to collaboration, and what it is the National Folklore Board was contacted by MTN. So on the part of MTN, that was such creativity and should I say the passion to promote our cultural heritage. So we are open to other forms of collaboration that do not conflict with the collaboration that we have with MTN.
And that's all for business. Coming up is Sports News with Ulriko Ampofo.
Well, we'll be seeing how Thomas Partey performs with his new side, Arsenal, as he prepares for his first start to that as well. But before we go, let's check out the Ghana Premier League, where clubs have chosen that the Craspo Stadium as their home venue would not be using the facility for free. Now, the National Sports Authority initially asked clubs to pay a whooping fee of 20,000 Ghana cedis per game, but scrapped the user fee after further consultation with the sector minister. However, clubs will still be charged an amount of money for the usage of the facility. Here is Public Relations Officer of the NSA, Charles Obeng Amofa.
You know, organizing a match at the Accra Stadium, you know what goes into it. You know, we have to hire the services of major stakeholders like security, medical, and other, maintenance costs that we also incur. There was a point in time that we were even taking off the national grid, due to debt that we owe to the ECG. So we still having discussions with the clubs as to the options that we have, whether we will have to still go by the old formula whereby we use percentages from the gate proceeds for.
Very well, Charles. Charles, before you go, how much does it cost to organize a game at the Accra Sports Stadium?
For each game, we spend not less than 10,000 Ghana cedis to organize a match, taking into consideration power consumption, water, the other expenditure that I mentioned.
That was Charles Obiamova, who is the Public Relations Officer of the National Sports Authority. Now, before we go, the Black Stars of Ghana and the latest FIFA rankings that just came out some few minutes ago have dropped by 2 positions from 46th to 48th. And so that's the latest ranking for Ghana. But that's the note on which we'll be ending the sports news. My name is Oreko Ampofu.